The factory scared me. I mean, it was so tumultuous, and I didn't hang out at Max's Kansas City, and I wasn't kind of part of the scene. The scene was filled with drugs, you know, just to say one thing that I think was filled with it. And I kind of was much more naive than that. I was waitressing, and I saved my money so I could buy my books on Lacan, and found my own group of younger people who were trying to get their artwork done. They were doing a lot with performance art on videotape, and I was really astonished by what that was. I think I was so excited by the technology itself that I didn't find it daunting. I just was very thrilled that somebody would lend me a Porter pack, and that seemed to be the tool of the day for many artists. I was just beginning. I really didn't know what I was doing. I just wanted to experiment. I had been exposed to people like Nauman, Conchi, Dan Graham in a very different direction. And when I got the Porter pack, I just tried to say something with it. It wasn't even preconceived. It was like a series of exercises that I wanted to do. One piece, for example, called Mirroring, actually was more structuralist. The camera started its focus on a mirror image of myself, but you couldn't tell it was a mirror. You thought it was the real self. And then I enter the frame, and through a series of passages you realize there's a real and a mirror. And every time I make a pass, I come back again, I change the focus of the camera so that the focus is going more and more to the real. And in the end, you end up with the focus on the real woman and not on the mirror itself. The friends that I had made and the dialogue that I had was mainly with this school of the new image makers, new picture generation. They were very influenced by images coming out of Hollywood and out of the media and kind of displacing them and putting them onto the canvas. But my feeling was I was so interested in media itself. The Nielsen ratings were saying that the average American family was watching television some 7 hours and 20 minutes a day. And I thought, that's the most popular language, and I don't want to deal with media by translating it into a different medium. I wanted to use the video on video. And the next thing I wanted to approach was a show like Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman!
That hit me. My God, this image is so terrifying to me that you think you can turn around and spin around 3 times, burst into light, and change your identity as into a Wonder Woman from a kind of real, normal, secretary type image that nobody really wants anyway.
I'll get word to him right now.
It wasn't on my mind to say I'm making an artwork. I was studying and looking at what special effects bring to television, how it's used in these transformation sequences. There was no home units to capture that image and study it. So the idea was to go into these, ask people in the industry who might want to help me in my work, kind of steal or pirate these images. There were times that legality came up as a question of whether or not I would be sued by a corporation. So there were real legal implications, but I didn't care at the time. I just thought, you're painting my landscape. My landscape constitutes these TV shows like Wonder Woman, and I'm allowed to paint them back again. You know, I'm allowed to talk back to you. It was taking that material and kind of contorting it and reformulating it in a very specific way, with altering the syntax and trying to find ways to stop the imagery without physically stopping it or translating it, but keeping it on itself through a lot of repeat editing or concentrating on facial gestures or moments. When I first did it, my idea was to put my version of Wonder Woman wherever I could find. and there was a storefront that had a TV in the shop window. And that was the only storefront at that time in 1980 downtown that you could find a TV in the shop window. So when I lecture, I'm always saying how no one can believe this because TVs are everywhere, or flat screens or virtual screens, whatever it is, are everywhere. But at that time there was only one, and I asked the woman if I could show Wonder Woman on her TV screen, and she asked me, well, what is your work about? And I said, it's about Wonder Woman. And she said, but that's great because I've been told I look like Wonder Woman. So she kind of really liked the idea of showing this reflected image of herself, supposedly. And so during the weekends, we would show the work out to the street and put the sound out to the street, and people would stop and look and think they were watching TV, but it was aberrated TV. So there was a kind of attraction, repulsion that would occur, like, oh, it's Wonder, what is this? I think some people were upset that it was aberrated, that it was something different, whereas other people were actually more attracted to it and saying, my God, what is this? So I was trying to look for all these holes of places it could be shown. It's been shown in movie theaters, but art cinema theaters. It hasn't been shown beyond that. It's on YouTube, but I never posted it on YouTube. It's somebody ripped me off, but I've ripped off Wonder Woman, so who can do what to whom, you know, it doesn't matter.